Very good morning. You're watching News on the Hour on Saturday morning at 10, comprehensive 1-hour bulletin where we bring you news from across the globe. Correspondents will also be joining us with all the latest news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Saryu Nehar National Project in Balrampur, UP today, which will be, of course, our top focus. Latest on the new variant Omicron also. And Australia have won the first Ashes Test. All of this and much more will start with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Balrampur and inaugurate Saryu Nehar National Project. The project laying pending for nearly 4 decades, which is now completed in 4 years, will benefit about 29 lakh farmers of eastern Uttar Pradesh. President Ramnath Kovind reviews the passing out parade of 149 regular and 132 TG courses of Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. A total of 387 gentlemen cadets, including 68 gentlemen cadets from 10 friendly foreign countries, are passing out from IMA today. Farmers who were protesting brings curtains down on their year-long agitation. Farmers will vacate the protest sites and return to their homes today. Cabinet Secretary to hold review meeting on COVID-19 situation in the country today. Top officials including Member Health Niti Aayog and Health Secretary to take part in the review meeting. In international news, US imposes extensive human rights related sanctions on people and entities related to China, Myanmar and North Korea. Canada and the United Kingdom joined the United States in imposing sanctions on Myanmar. And in sports, Australia defeat England by 9 wickets in the first Ashes Test. On day 4 of the match, Aussie spinner Nathan Lyon, with his 4-wicket hunt, becomes the 17th man to reach 400 Test wickets. Right, first we'll go across to IMA Dehradun, where President Ramnath Kovind is addressing the cadets.
The winner of Sword of Honour and Gold Medal, Academy Cadet Adjutant Anmol Gurung. The silver medal awarded to the gentleman cadet standing second in the overall order of merit of the passing out course. The winner is Battalion Under Officer Tushar Sapra. The bronze medal awarded to the gentleman cadet standing third in the overall order of merit of the passing out course. The winner is Battalion Cadet Adjutant Ayush Ranjan. The technical graduate course silver medal awarded to the gentleman cadet standing first amongst the technical graduates of the passing out course. The winner is Junior Under Officer Kunal Chaubisa. The Bangladesh medal for the best gentleman cadet standing first amongst the gentlemen cadets from friendly foreign countries. Winner is Battalion Under Officer Sange Pendin Dorji from Bhutan. The Chief of Army Staff banner presented to the Champion Company of Autumn Term 2021. The winner is Karen Company.
Get up!
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your attention towards your left, you will see that the Chief of Army Staff banner is now being returned to the academy by Junior Under Officer Abhishek Rajvanshi of Dogarai Company. It shall be presented to the champion company of autumn term 2021.
नितिन का कर लो
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see that a banner carrier is now being slung across the right shoulder of Senior Under Officer Anmol Kanav of Karen Company to enable him to receive the coveted Chief of Army Staff banner. The Sword of Honor, ladies and gentlemen, is the most coveted recognition that a gentleman cadet aspires to possess. It is given for the best overall performance by a gentleman cadet in military training, academics, sports and extracurricular activities. The Sword of Honor has become a symbol signifying best of the best. The tradition was started with the first course, the Pioneers, when Gentleman Cadet Smith Dunn, who later became the Army Chief of the then Burmese Army, was awarded with the sword in 1934. Ladies and gentlemen, now Subedar Major Tek Chand, Subedar Major Drill will accompany the Honorable Reviewing Officer for the prize distribution ceremony. May I request the Honorable President to kindly come and felicitate the award winners of Autumn Term 2021. Winner of the Sword of Honor and Gold Medal, Academy Cadet Adjutant Anmol Gurung. Winner of Silver Medal, Battalion Under Officer Tushar Sapra. Winner of Bronze Medal, Battalion Cadet Adjutant Ayush Ranjan. Winner of Technical Graduate Course Silver Medal, Junior Under Officer Kunal Chaubisa. Winner of Bangladesh Medal for Best Gentleman Cadet from Friendly Foreign Country, Battalion Under Officer Sange Pendin Dorji from Bhutan. Winner of Chief of Army Staff Banner, Karen Company.
Right, so we were showing you the live visual from Dehradun, where President Ramnath Kovind is reviewing the passing out parade at IMA Dehradun. He also felicitated the cadets also present there at the Autumn Term 2021. He is also likely to address later in the day. 387 gentlemen cadets are passing out during the Autumn Term 2021, and this includes 68 foreign trainees from 10 countries too. So President Ramnath Kovind is present at the reviewing officer of the parade. Like we showed you, this day and date of 11 December 2021 will go down in the history of IMA as another landmark milestone, where a total of 387 gentlemen cadets of 149 regular course and 132 technical graduate course, including 68 gentlemen cadets from 10 friendly foreign countries, successfully passed out from the portals of Indian Military Academy, overcoming all challenges of COVID-19. The solemn ceremony and events of this POP come in the backdrop of the homage and tributes that the Academy is paying to its brave alumni and first Chief of Defence Staff late General Bipin Rawat, late Brigadier L.S. Lidar, along with 11 other departed souls. This year, 2021, also marks the 50th anniversary of victory of the Indian Armed Forces in the 1971 war and the year is being observed as Swarnim Vijay Varsh in honor of the Indian soldier who had laid down their lives in the line of duty. So President Ramnath Kovind paid full tributes to former President of country late Pranab Mukherjee on his birth anniversary at Raj Bhavan in Uttarakhand. He was born on 11 December 1935 in West Bengal, Birbhum district. A true statesman, Pranab Mukherjee had an illustrious political career spanning over 5 decades. Shifting focus, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh today. He will inaugurate the Saryu Nehar National Project there. The Saryu Nehar National Project has been built with a total cost of more than rupees 9,800 crore, out of which more than rupees 4,600 crore was provisioned in the last 4 years. The project also involves interlinking of 5 rivers, Ghagra, Saryu, Rapti, Banganga and Rohini to ensure optimum usage of water resources of the region. President Ramnath Kovind is addressing at the IMA Dehradun.
Guests from friendly foreign countries, proud parents and gentlemen cadets of the passing out course. We gather here today when the nation is yet to come out of the shock of the untimely demise of General Bipin Rawat, the Chief of Defence Staff. As you know, 12 others, including General Rawat's wife, Srimati Madhulika Rawat ji, were also killed in the chopper crash. General Rawat was an extraordinary military leader, and his death creates a void that cannot be filled. Uttarakhand was his home, and he was trained at the Indian Military Academy. Here, he was awarded the Sword of Honor for his exceptional skills. But for the tragedy, he would have been among us here today, looking at the passing out parade with delight and pride for the cadets. General Rawat added to the glory of the IMA, which is an institution with an inspiring tradition. Before him, Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, and many other extraordinary warriors and strategists began their journey here as young cadets and potential leaders. Some of them laid down their lives for the safety and honor of our nation. The IMA is acclaimed worldwide for its nearly 9 decades of history and heritage. Its buildings and sprawling campus are impressive indeed. It gives me pleasure to see before me the batch of 387 gentlemen cadets who would shortly embark on their journey of a life characterized by valor and wisdom. I am sure they will carry forward the rich legacy of this academy. I appreciate the immaculate turnout and an impressive display of drill. This parade comprises cadets from all parts of India and from diverse communities, as also from 10 friendly foreign countries. This is indeed a true manifestation of our unity as also of our plural society. Gentlemen cadets, your training here equips you to face the challenges that await you. As commissioned officers, you will be expected to blend knowledge, skills and professional application. You must internalize the Chetwood motto inscribed in your academy. All of you know the motto very well. Yet, I find it so good that I would like to repeat it for the benefit of all the cadets passing out today. The motto reads, and I quote, "The safety, honor and welfare of your country come first, always and every time. The honor, welfare and comfort of the men you command come next. Your own ease, comfort and safety come last, always and every time." Gentlemen cadets, you will have the authority to lead men into battle. At the same time, you will also be expected to uphold the admiration and trust that your uniform evokes amongst fellow countrymen. You must always remain mindful that your actions will influence the outcome of military operations. Your decisions will have an impact on the lives of men under your command, and your dedication to services will have a multifaceted impact on our country. The challenges that our great nation faces today are defined by a complex security environment at the regional and global level. You must, therefore, keep in mind that physical and mental toughness alone will not equip you to tackle modern-day threats to the country. As military leaders, you will have to develop a strategic mindset, cultivate an adaptive temperament, and acquire the mental resilience essential to hone the skills required for military leadership. You must be prepared to deal with the unexpected challenges that the profession of arms shall present before you at various junctures of your service. Gentlemen cadets, advancement in technology has often been driven by military dynamics. The battlefield today presents multi-dimensional situations. Armed forces across the world are heavily reliant on use of technology to deter or defeat the enemy's fighting capability. As modern-day military leaders, you must embrace this technological shift and understand the seamless synergy required between men and machines. It is therefore imperative that you develop sound scientific temperament and include the desire and passion to adopt technology and innovation. I feel happy to see the gentlemen cadets from friendly foreign countries of Afghanistan, Bhutan, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Tajikistan, Tanzania, Turkmenistan, and Vietnam here today. We cherish the special bond between our nations, and it is a matter of great pride for India to have such fine officers and gentlemen from friendly foreign countries graduating today. I am sure that you will preserve the unique bond of friendship forged with your colleagues and instructors during your training here at the IMA. Gentlemen cadets, I once again congratulate you on the successful completion of your training at the IMA and wish you a very bright future marked by success and glory. Your service and dedication as soldiers and leaders of men shall add to the strength of a peaceful, independent and democratic India. On this occasion, let us recall the iconic status acquired by one of the many illustrious alumni of the Academy, General Bipin Rawat, who by dint of his hard work emerged as the role model of solidarity, conduct for the future generation. Our flag shall always fly high because brave men like you will preserve and protect its honor. I also extend my heartiest congratulations to the proud families of the cadets passing out today. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Right, so this was President Ramnath Kovind addressing at the IMA Dehradun. He also remembered brave alumni and first Chief of Defence Staff late General Bipin Rawat and said that he would have been here today encouraging the young cadets. He also had encouraging words for the young leaders and advice to prepare for the unexpected challenges in their service. Moving on to our top story again, PM Modi will inaugurate Saryu Nehar National Project in Balrampur, Uttar Pradesh today. He tweeted, and I quote, "The work on Saryu Nehar National Project began in 1978, but for decades the project was never completed. Cost increased and so did people's woes. A project that was incomplete for 4 decades has been finished in 4 years." He further tweeted that their swift work on the Saryu Nehar National Project during the last 4 years is in line with government's commitment to complete long pending projects and also harness country's water resources for the benefit of farmers and to further ease of living.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh to inaugurate the Saryu Nehar National Project on Saturday. Work on the project started in 1978, but due to the lack of continuity of budgetary support, interdepartmental coordination and adequate monitoring, it got delayed and was not completed even after nearly 4 decades. The renewed focus on the project has resulted in the project being completed in only about 4 years.
जो परियोजना 78 करोड़ की केवल थी, बढ़ते बढ़ते उसकी लागत 9,802 करोड़ हो गई और देखते देखते पिछले 50 सालों में जो काम नहीं हो पाया था वो 5 साल में मोदी और योगी सरकार ने करके दिखाया है.
In 2016, the project was brought under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana with a target to complete it in a time-bound manner. In this endeavour, innovative solutions were found for a new land acquisition to construct new canals and fill the critical gaps in the project, and also for resolving the pending litigation related to the previous land acquisitions. The Saryu Nehar National Project has been built with a total cost of more than 9,800 crore rupees, out of which more than 4,600 crore rupees was provisioned in the last 4 years. The project also involves interlinking of 5 rivers, Ghagra, Saryu, Rapti, Banganga and Rohini, to ensure optimum usage of water resources of the region. The project will provide assured water for irrigation of over 14 lakh hectares of land and benefit about 29 lakh farmers of over 6,200 villages. Newsline Desk, DD India.
Right, so this will be inaugurated at 1 p.m. today by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in UP. Moving on, in view of the challenging humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, the Government of India has dispatched a consignment of medical supplies on the return flight today. The special flight from Kabul to New Delhi, chartered by the Government of India, had arrived at the IGI airport at New Delhi yesterday. The medicines will be handed over to the representatives of Indira Gandhi Children's Hospital, Kabul. Yesterday, under Operation Devi Shakti, the special flight brought 10 Indians and 94 Afghans. The minority community members carried with them 2 swarups of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and some ancient Hindu manuscripts. A total of 669 people have now been evacuated from Afghanistan. Among those, 448 Indians and 206 Afghans include members of Afghan Hindu Sikh minority community. And now update on COVID-19 situation across the country. The recovery of 9,265 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3,41,14,331. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.36%, which is highest since March 2020. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the states, union territories continue the trend of less than 15,000 daily new cases that is being reported for the last 44 days now. 7,992 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. Active caseload is presently at 93,277. Active cases constitute 0.27% of the country's total positive cases, which is lowest since March 2020. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 12,50,672 tests being conducted. So positivity rate we are showing you 0.64%, less than 2% for the last 68 days, and over 65.46 crore cumulative tests conducted so far. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, weekly positivity rate at 0.7% remains less than 1% for the last 27 days now. (9,265) recoveries in the last 24 hours, and the daily positivity rate reported to be 0.64%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 2% for the last 68 days. Right, an update now on nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive with the administration of 76,36,569 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 131.99 crore landmark milestone. 131 crore 99 lakh 92,482 vaccine doses have been administered across the country so far. Cabinet Secretary will hold a review meeting on COVID at around 2:30 p.m. today. Members of Niti Aayog, Health Secretary, Pharma Secretary, DBT Secretary are participating in the meeting, and this meeting is very significant in view of COVID preparedness, including the new variant Omicron and also the vaccination drive. Omicron cases have been reported from 59 countries from across the world so far. The UK, Denmark and South Africa remain the top 3 countries with the highest Omicron cases in the world. In India, 2 more cases of Omicron were confirmed from Jamnagar in Gujarat on Friday, while 7 more new cases of Omicron were reported in Maharashtra. And now the figure of total Omicron cases have risen to 32 in the country. The Health Ministry said that most of the cases detected so far have reported mild symptoms. And let's now take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. COVID-19 cases have begun spiraling once again globally. The tally of COVID-19 cases has crossed 26 crore 94 lakh globally, while over 24 crore 22 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. Over 53 lakh 12,000 people have lost their lives due to the virus so far. The US continues to remain the worst affected country with the disease, registering more than 5 crore 7 lakh cases and over 8.17 lakh fatalities. And COVID-19 cases are continuously rising all across European nations, with the United Kingdom being the hardest hit in the continent. The UK has more than 1 crore 7 lakh cases of COVID-19, followed by France, where the cases have risen above 81 lakh and 5,000. Germany also registers a spike in the number of cases, with total tally standing above 64 lakh 63,000. Spain trails behind it, where over 52 lakh 90,000 COVID-19 cases have been registered. And as cases of COVID-19 rise in New York, the state government has made mask and face covering mandatory from the next week. New York Governor Kathy Hochul on Friday said that starting next week, face coverings must be worn inside all businesses and venues unless they have implemented a vaccine requirement. The measure will be in effect from December 13 to January 15th in order to curb the spread of the virus during the holidays, when more time is spent indoors, shopping and gathering. While 80% of New Yorkers are fully vaccinated, the state has seen a recent surge in the spread of the virus, which has killed more than 46,000 residents. And UK scientists have warned that 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine are not enough to stop someone catching the Omicron variant. Early analysis of UK Omicron and Delta cases showed the vaccines were less effective at stopping the new variant, but a third booster prevents around 75% of people getting any COVID symptoms.
After 2 doses of vaccine, particularly more than 3 months after your second dose, there's a much reduced vaccine effectiveness against symptomatic mild infection in the community. What that means is that people who've had 2 doses more than 3 months ago are likely to get infection and transmit infection. What we see is after the booster dose, and that happens quite fast after the booster dose, in early analysis probably at 14 days and even up to just even 7 days, that effect is reversed. And actually what we're seeing is, no matter what your backbone, whether you had Astra or Pfizer, you've got a 70 to 75% vaccine effectiveness for a symptomatic disease.
I need to be very, very careful. Moving further, the International Council of Nurses has said that the numbers of nurses around the world are falling further just as the Omicron coronavirus spreads. There is also an imbalance as Western countries step up recruitment of healthcare workers from African and other poorer countries. It further said that many nurses are burned out from the COVID-19 pandemic and rates of intention to leave within a year have doubled to 20 to 30%. There was already a global shortage of 6 million nurses before the pandemic, and some 4.75 million nurses are due to retire over the next few years. Germany is battling with the shortage of medical facility as the number of COVID-19 cases are continuously rising due to the Omicron variant. The country recorded the highest number of deaths from COVID-19 since February on December 8 as it battles to stop a fourth wave of the pandemic. Doctors in Berlin hospitals are worried as there was little room in the intensive care units left. The country reported over 61,000 new infections from the COVID and around 500 more COVID-related deaths on Friday. Germany, in the grip of a fourth wave of infections, has a relatively low rate of vaccination compared with the rest of Europe. Some 69.4% of the population is fully vaccinated, while at least 21.3% have received a booster shot. Brazil's health ministry said its website was hit on Friday by a hacker attack that took several systems down, including one with information about the national immunization program and another used to issue, digital vaccination certificates. The alleged hackers posted a message on the website saying that internal data had been copied and deleted. Contact us if you want the data back, it said, including email and telegram contact info. The message had been removed by Friday afternoon, but the web page was still down, while user data in the Connect SUS app had disappeared. The ministry said it was working to restore its systems. Meanwhile, the government put off for a week implementing new health requirements for travelers arriving in Brazil due to the attack. Police said they are investigating the attack. Russian aggression against Ukraine would come at a price, the head of the European Commission said on Friday, but declined to say outright if such a move by Moscow would trigger EU sanctions against the Russian gas pipeline Nord Stream 2. Ursula von der Leyen was speaking at a joint news conference with Germany's new Chancellor Olaf Scholz in response to a question if cutting off Nord Stream 2 would be part of any stepping up of sanctions on Russia in case it attacked Ukraine. Scholz refused to spell out the exact consequences of a Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Wir erwarten, dass Russland
We want de-escalation from Russia and the cessation of all aggression against its neighbors. It should respect the sovereign rights of nations, otherwise the European Union would be looking to intensify its sanctions and also to take other measures across economic sectors, financial sectors.
Maßnahmen zu ergreifen in anderen Feldern von.
Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on Friday rejected Russian demands to rescind a 2008 commitment to Ukraine that the country would one day become a member of the Western military alliance. Germany's new Chancellor Olaf Scholz, in an inaugural trip across Europe, said members of the 30-member-strong military alliance had to work together to press upon other countries that threaten Ukraine's integrity.
Any sovereign, independent nation, of course, has the right to choose its own path, including what kind of security arrangements it wants to be part of. So NATO's relationship with Ukraine is going to be decided by the 30 NATO allies and Ukraine, no one else.
The United Nations Human Rights Office said on Friday that Myanmar's military was committing grave violations, including killing 11 people and setting fire to their bodies. U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said on Thursday that the United States was outraged by reports that Myanmar soldiers rounded up and killed 11 people in the northwestern region of Sagaing. There was no immediate reaction from Myanmar's military rulers to the accusations from the UN rights body.
We're appalled by the alarming escalation of grave human rights abuses in Myanmar. In the last week alone, security forces have killed and burned to death 11 people, among them 5 minors, and rammed vehicles into protesters exercising their fundamental right to peaceful assembly. More than 10 months since Myanmar's military overthrew the democratically elected government in a February coup, the country's human rights situation is deepening on an unprecedented scale, with serious violations reported daily of the rights to life, liberty and security of person, the prohibition against torture, the right to a fair trial, and freedom of expression.
The United States on Friday imposed extensive human rights-related sanctions on dozens of people and entities tied to China, Myanmar, North Korea and Bangladesh, and added Chinese artificial intelligence company SenseTime Group to an investment blacklist. Canada and the United Kingdom joined the United States in imposing sanctions related to human rights abuses in Myanmar, while Washington also imposed the first new sanctions on North Korea under President Joe Biden's administration and targeted Myanmar military entities, among others, in action marking Human Rights Day. Several people were killed and many injured in an explosion at South Lebanon Palestinian camp on Friday. The explosion took place at a Hamas weapons depot in the Burj al-Shimali camp, and a judge had ordered security forces to launch an investigation. As per a local media agency, the explosion was caused by the ignition of oxygen canisters stored for use in fight the COVID-19 pandemic. The surrounding area had been evacuated and rescue crews were deployed. On Friday in Chile, more than 100 homes were burned by a forest fire that spread to the town of Castro on the tourist island of Chiloé of southern Chile. Interior Ministry official Alejandro Verges said that the fire was brought under control overnight, although small areas were still smoldering. Residents were seen desperately trying to save their belongings. The Chiloé archipelago is located about 1,000 kilometers, which is 600 miles south of the capital city, Santiago. And from Chile to Mexico now, the landslide that hit the Cerro del Chiquihuite hill on the edge of Mexico City in September buried many houses, killing 4 people and forcing over 140 families to relocate. It was just one of scores of natural disasters to strike Mexico in the past few years, exacerbated by urban growth and extreme met conditions, which are becoming more commonplace due to climate change, scientific studies show. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador vowed to relocate the families displaced by the landslide and said corruption in past governments led to plots in dangerous areas being sold. In France, rivers overflowed their banks across a large swathe on Friday after heavy rainfall, leading to several evacuations of residents. Streets turned into rivers in Bayonne city on Friday. The video uploaded on social media shows Nive River overflowing onto the streets of the city, prompting the authorities to close the roads and forcing residents to walk in knee-high waters. Met Service Meteo France issued a red alert for flood risk in Department of Landes and Pyrénées Atlantiques, together with an orange alert for rain and risk of avalanche in the rest of the region. In Spain, at least one person was killed on Friday as the heavy rains and severe flooding from Storm Bara caused rivers to overflow in Navarre region. Police said the person in the small village of San Billa died after a landslide. The roof of a building at their farmhouse caved in. The regional government declared a level 2 flood emergency and said similar conditions were likely to prevail today, with the focus of the flood heading south toward the town of Peralta. The river Arga in Spain's northern region of Navarre broke its banks in the town of Vilava on Friday, flooding streets and leaving many homes submerged under water with only their rooftops visible. And taking a look at US stocks now, Wall Street advanced on Friday and the S&P 500 notched an all-time closing high as markets participants digested an inflation reading that was in line with consensus, but also marked the largest annual increase in consumer prices in nearly 4 decades. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 44.20 points or 0.95% to end at 4,711.65 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 113.23 points or 0.72% to 15,630.60. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 216.24 points or 0.60% to 35,970.93. India has been re-elected to International Maritime Organization Council. The Assembly of the International Maritime Organization elected the members of its council for the 2022-2023 biennium. India's delegation to IMO extends heartfelt thanks to all fellow member states, looks forward to working with all for the achievement of our common goals. IMO, which is the International Maritime Organization, is the United Nations specialized agency with responsibility for the safety and security of shipping and prevention of marine and atmospheric pollution by ships. Well, sports stories now. We'll start with cricket. Australia drew first blood as they beat England by 9 wickets on day 4 of the opening Ashes test at the Gabba in Brisbane to take a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series. After bowling England out for 297 at lunch, today Australia chased down the target in just 31 deliveries. Alex Carey was the only wicket to fall in Australia's second innings, with Marcus Harris heading the winning runs. The host needed just 20 to win in Brisbane after another English batting collapse, with spinner Nathan Lyon passing 400 test wickets for Australia. After starting the morning in a reasonable position following a superb fight back from Joe Root and David Malan, the Englishman lost 8 for 77 in the extended first session. Earlier, Travis Head's 152 took Australia to a first innings total of 425. Initially, England were bowled out for 147 after opting to bat first in the first test of the series. Travis Head was declared player of the match for his 152. Well, hockey now. The Indian hockey team has reached Bangladesh for the Asian Champions Trophy to be held in Dhaka. This will be the first international tournament for the Indian team after winning the bronze medal at the recent Tokyo Olympic Games. Only 8 players from the Tokyo Olympic team were named in the squad for the Asian Champions Trophy. Some Olympians, including P.R. Sujesh, will not participate in this tournament. India will play their first match against Korea on 14 December. This will be followed by Bangladesh on 15th, arch rivals Pakistan on 17th, Malaysia on 18 December and Japan on the 19th. Football now in the Premier League. 2 goals in the last 6 minutes capped by Brian Bumo's last gas penalty earned Brentford a stunning late 2-1 comeback win over Watford on Friday night. Football. Brentford moved back into the top half of the standings while Watford remained 3 points above the relegation zone. Emmanuel Dennis seemed to have breathed life into Watford's survival bid with his first half header that held up until 6 minutes remained. The Bees hauled themselves level through Pontus Jansson. Then Bumo, deputizing from the spot for the coronavirus infected Ivan Toney, held his nerve to secure a memorable victory. The Vatican's giant Christmas tree and nativity scene in St. Peter's Square were lit up on Friday during a rainy evening. This year's 28-meter tall red tree comes from a forest in the Dolomite Mountains on the border between Italy and Austria in the northern Trentino region. It was chosen by the Vatican because it was harvested as part of a sustainability project and is covered with handmade wooden decorations. The annual ceremony to mark the festive season was held indoors at the Paul VI Hall due to the bad weather. The tradition began in 1982 by Pope John Paul II. The tree and the nativity scene can be admired until January 9th, the day of the feast of the baptism of the Lord. In Hungary, visitors crowded Budapest's main squares this week, where traditional Christmas markets opened for the vaccinated, attracting lots of tourists and locals even as Central Europe is battling a surge in the coronavirus cases. Visitors were lining up at checkpoints and showing their vaccination or immunity certificates before entering the market as required by current regulations. Markets in Prague were cancelled this year, while in neighbouring Vienna they are expected to open only on Monday after a 2-week lockdown. As Hungary is fighting a 4th wave of the coronavirus infections, Visitors at events with more than 500 participants need to show proof of vaccination or immunity. Restaurants, shops, malls and schools remain open for everyone. Well, that's all we have in this edition of News on the Hour. But before we wrap, we take you to Japan, where Santa Claus, clad in rubber flippers instead of his usual leather boots, visited Yokohama to feed fish and spread Christmas cheer at a local aquarium. Take a look. Namaskar.